right. Gail here, Life Coaching with Gail, and this is part 2. We are August 2024. We are with Radio Hawke's Bay. And I do the psychic, intuitive, spiritual aspects and personal aspects of our life. This year, if you have felt pressured, if you have felt more anxious than normal, if you have felt angry, fearful, annoyed at other people, if things just bug you more, if sometimes the light seems too bright, if sound seems too loud, if things are just more at times bright, colourful, I can tell you that 2024, because it is such an immensely energetic year, is being influenced in a lot of ways by what's happening in the air around you. And we have, and we know this, we have air around us. And within that air there are all kinds of activity, energies, frequencies. We know that because we have a lot of technology. They emit frequencies. If you're around a person and they are emitting a frequency of happiness, you will feel that emanating from them. If they are feeling a frequency of anger, you will feel that emanating from them. And if you're one of those people that don't feel those things, you will be surprised, because in the next few years you will start to feel those things. If you already feel those things, you're going to be feeling those things more strongly, in a more heightened way. So if you are already an empath, and that is somebody who can really feel how another person is feeling, then think of that amped up. Because that is, but amped up a lot, amped up like 100 times more. And that can be really hard if you are somebody that is affected by another person's feelings. So example would be, if you are around somebody who is sad, and then you leave them feeling sad, then you have empathetically connected with their feeling, and subconsciously you have taken some of that feeling through the kindness of your heart off of them to lighten their load. Now, this isn't a conscious thing always that we do. Sometimes, we do it consciously. We just want people to feel better, But there is an unconscious part of a lot of you that is the healer in you, the helper in you, the carer, the nurturer in you. And if you come into contact with a person, whether you know them or not, that is having a hard time or a hard experience, then unconsciously, without thought, you will be connecting with them to lift some of that off of them. Understand then, though, that you will be carrying some of that. And if you have already got a method for cleansing yourself, or just, dropping negative energy, then you're already there. But if you're someone that goes, why am I feeling like this? I was feeling great before I saw that person. And then just carrying on feeling the way you're feeling, thinking nothing about it, it can hang on a little bit if you do that. So what I'm saying is, you are the creator this year. You are an active creator this year in your experiences. And no matter how bad and hard your experiences are, you can be the creator and changing and moulding and making those better at a higher and happier vibration. 100%, absolutely. So when you're feeling that you've been in an environment, for instance, there are certain stores that we go into and we just feel like, I don't know, I just want to get out of here. I just don't feel a really good vibe. But then you come out of there and you're still affected by it. So what do? So what you do is you go and do something different. You might sit in the sun and just focus on the sun, and you can focus on the sun's rays just filling up your entire being as you breathe in, and being filled with sunshine, and you can push it out around into your energy aura, because we all have a bubble we walk around with. And that's simple. Or you can go where there are children that are playing, that you surround yourself with that childlike energy of innocence and hope and joy. You can go somewhere else where there's music, or you can put music on that's quite high vibration and really kind of, yeah. So changing out of a negative state, any kind of negative feeling or attitude, is just through your will to do it. You have to want to. Sometimes we're not aware. Sometimes we can sit in energy because we're just simply not aware that it's affecting us, or we're simply not aware of how we feel. And that's okay, but at some point you'll get over it. You'll be fed up with feeling like however it is you're feeling, and you'll be looking to feel different. You'll be looking to feel better, more, lighter, especially if energy's felt heavy this year. Workloads, financial responsibilities, they've all felt quite heavy this year. And just to feel a bit lighter, seriously, if you can even find $2, find something you can, it could be a lolly, seriously. Go buy yourself a lolly, and then it's give yourself the experience of having the lolly. Don't just go buy a lolly and chuck it down your throat and go, oh, what was that about? Oh, yeah, it was sweet. Buy the lolly and connect with lollies from your childhood. How did you feel if you ever got those? What did you do? I used to dream about being able to go to the shop with 10 cents, which was a shilling, and I dreamed of how many lollies I could have with it. It would be this enormous bag of lollies that I could have. A shilling was a lot of money. So that didn't happen, and I never did that for myself. And by that stage, of course, it's not just 10 cents or a shilling to buy a big bag of lollies. It would probably cost a few dollars, probably about $10 maybe now for the big ones I was thinking about. But give yourself an experience if you buy one lolly, if that's all the money you've got, go buy a lolly, a ice cream. Buy it, but savour it. Remember the joy that it brought to you thinking about lollies when you were a child. And savour the flavour and look at the shape of what you're actually eating, and just be aware of your chewing it and having that whole immersive experience. By the time you finish it, it will have shifted how you feel in some way, because your focus was thinking about the lolly, not your problems, not everything that was going on. It's a simple way to give yourself a break from all the burdens that you carry, that you're expected to from society, family, relationships, children. Give yourself a break, but do it every day at least once in some way. Go and pick a flower out of the grass, but really look at the flower and remember what it was like when you were running on the grass when you were a child, or picking daisies. We used to do the daisy chain, if some of you remember that. That was lovely and fun. It's those little things that bring you childlike memories of joy that help you in your adult life when you are struggling, when there are burdens. So the energies that we have this year are around the planets. They are around the sun. Now the sun, we would not have life, you would not have life if the sun was not active. The sun is going through its 11-year cycle of activity, which means it's ramping up. It is blasting its solar energy toward Earth, with it all sorts of electromagnetic energy, protons, all kinds of radiation, stuff like that. And all of this is about how the Earth manages it. We have a magnetic field, and those blasts can interrupt our telecommunications, our electronics, and all of those things. And we now can predict them more, so therefore they don't take us by surprise as much, but they're still happening. And when they're happening, they impact on you, your energy. You're 70% water. Is it 70% water? We're a lot of water anyway. And whatever amount of water we are, and I'm not a scientist and I'm not going into the fact side of things, I'm just giving general overviews about things, that water is a conductor of energy. The whole planet is a large part water, and you know that. These are things you can see with your eyes. So we as human beings also are conductors of energy. We know that if we touch a live socket, we get electrocuted. And we get electrocuted because the water content of us magnifies the electric energy, and we just go zzz. So it's kind of a little bit like what the sun's solar flares do. They give the Earth a little bit of a zzz, and that takes a little bit of time for the Earth to rectify. So the solar flares, when they come one after another, and we've had those, we've had solar waves that they call them, makes it longer before the Earth can stabilise itself properly. Makes it harder for us to stabilise our energies. So hence anger, anxiety, fear. All of this is purposeful in a lot of ways, because at this point you must release your fears. You must face the fears. If something is happening to you now in your life, it's because look back. When did something similar happen in your past? Right, you can't carry this forward. The energy on the Earth is vibrating at a higher level. They talk about going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. The third dimension is our power, money, struggle, war, ego, right? Fifth dimension is humanity. Look after it. Look after the planet. Look after people's needs type of energy. And we need to go into that, because the old systems don't work. Many people can't work 9 to 5 anymore, simply because of their physical body not being able to do it, because mentally they're just not in it. It's not working for them. Because emotionally there's a disconnection. They feel more like a robot than they feel like a human being. So the fifth dimension energies are being introduced really into the Earth with all solar flares, because they are high vibrational energies. Energy is changing. It will affect the Earth as well. So there will be earthquakes, and there will be those volcanic eruptions. And yes, there still will be wars. There will be crises to break the pattern. Any crises you've had in your personal life is to break a pattern that wasn't working anymore. If you have carried fear around relationships, breakups of relationships, because it happened to you in the past, sometimes these are unconscious fears, but if you have not resolved in a partnership breakup, if you have not resolved to yourself everything around that breakup, why it happened, if you have not resolved your pain, that the emotion caused you, then you will be faced with it this year. And if that's what you're being faced with, it is about looking honestly at that past experience and what your part in it was that broke it down. that helped create the dynamic of change breakup, so that when you look back at your present relationship, you can look at how to repair it, how to deal with it in a different way, how to have a new pattern around it so that it's not quite so it doesn't end the same way, because this year it does not have to end the same way. Two people, seriously, can work together. It's all about talk to the other person. It's been tough over this month because retrograde, Mercury being the planet of communication, going backwards where things are awkward, things are uncomfortable, where there's no contact. How can you contact where there's no contact? Emojis are great, by the way, and even just reaching out to say, thinking about you, or something small like that. Just that small gesture is sometimes all it takes to break that impasse. And I will tell you, there is not one single thing in your life that has been broken that cannot be improved on, because this is the year of improvement. It is the year of the magician. It is the year where heaven and earth work together. It is the infinity symbol. It is, which goes that way, by the way, it goes sideways, okay? But it doesn't really matter. It looks the same to me either way. And we have very powerful shifts happening on the earth. While you're going through your everyday, it's not easy to see different shifts. Just notice them in yourself. How are you feeling this year? How have you been feeling about your life in general this year? I will tell you that from this month on, if it hasn't already started, it's like the sun is rising. I said at the beginning of winter, actually, that I felt it was like the beginning of spring, because I could see the first rays of hope. I could see the first warmth, lightness, positiveness coming in. I could see it from a long way off. It helped me get through the winter. It helped me get through some really tough times myself. And now, from this month onward, toward the end of the year, you are coming out the other side. And we are in the 8th month. So this month is very, very important. It's a very powerful month. There is a lot of energy around yourself and what you can put into action this month. Remember, 8 also is the magician. So if you put more effort into things you've been putting effort into, and I don't mean force, I don't mean work yourself harder, I mean wish, desire, and put that into action. Look at how that can fit in with what you are doing, because you can create, make happen outstanding results that are instigated this month. Maybe you'll see them this month. Maybe you won't see them for a couple of months. But whatever you do this month is so important in what is going to happen for you in the next 3 months in particular by the end of the year. This is the signal this year, with everything shifting and changing, and maybe in your personal self and your personal life, definitely transformative, which means becoming better. Definitely difficult to navigate the sorting out and the leaving behind of things that will not work for you ever again. If it is a relationship and if you have left a person behind, I just have to say this. You don't necessarily give up on ever having a relationship with that person. That person, like you, is going through personal reflection, personal reliving of past fears, personal confronting of really life needing to be better. and looking at, what do I really want? What do I really desire? If you are soulmates, if you have a divine connection, if you are twin flames, if you are people who feel connected and then your relationship broke down, please don't see that as the final, the end, no going back. You know, there's this saying, don't go back to the past. And do you know what that means? It doesn't mean don't go back to the person. It means do not go back to the pattern of how you interacted with each other. You can evolve, and we all do. We grow, we evolve, and we look at what and how we want to be. As a person, we want to be better. It's just in us. It's in everybody. We just want to be better, do better. We know the good part of ourselves. We know the part that we're proud of. And we continually let ourselves down. And we have to, because that's that human discovery process that must happen. There is no failure. Never give up on yourself, because there's always more in yourself. Never give up on a relationship that is unique and special to you. Re-evolve, redevelop that relationship. Maybe it will be in a slightly different way than you living together. But develop that relationship in a way that enriches you. So, a lot of opportunities this year with the energy changing. The dynamic of our earth, the way the world works, is changing. It will change over the next few years in quite big ways. These may come about in ways that a system just needs to be broken. It just needs something to happen that completely changes the approach we have to things. So there's money, there's politics, there's all of those kinds of institutions that have been there to benefit a few people. And we're looking at, the new world. It really is being talked about for many years, the new world, the Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the higher thinking, the more inspirational, well-meaning, value to life. It's amazing. Can you imagine what it would be like to feel comfortable in your life? Can you imagine what it would be like to feel comfortable in yourself, in your being, with a knowledge of confidence that you can handle anything? We are all evolving into that way of being, and some of the ways that we're going to notice this, and some of you already have, is that you will start to feel a little more insightful. You'll have a few more inspirations, ideas. You will perceive things that you have never perceived before. And this can be in a situation, so maybe you perceive it in a different way. And maybe that gives you an answer and a solution. Maybe you start to see things that do not exist. The veil between spirit world and physical world has become thinner and thinner. And so many people don't just pick up on energy sensitivities with each other and the environment, but they pick up on other things as well that shouldn't be there or shouldn't be happening, but you can see them. This could be seeing a loved one in spirit that you know is past, but you can see them, and maybe you only perceive and see them as a figure, but you know who they are, or as a glow, or as a shape, or as a orb. That's it, orb. So if you ever looked at photos from a camera of a few years back particularly, you would have seen that there were orbs of light in the photographs themselves. Those orbs of light were you seeing spiritual beings and higher beings generally, especially if they were white. Maybe there were coloured ones as well. All orbs have energy, and all energies mean something. So all colours are energy, all numbers are energy, everything is energy. And maybe you're seeing a whole lot more numbers where they repeat, 11, 11, 22, 22, or 44, 33, all those, all the way up to 99. Maybe you see repeat numbers, and I invite you again, please, if you see numbers that keep popping up to you. 11, 11 has been a really strong one, particularly this year, years before, and that means you have something to share. You have something different to bring to the world. Look at what you can do. Know yourself. Find out what you're good at. Have more faith in yourself. Do something different with it. Be brave. Be unique. Do not be afraid to be the first one to do something. That's 11:11, and it means you cannot avoid it if it's 11. It means this is your year. This is what you've got to do. You will be unhappy until you actually look at yourself and what you can do with yourself, what part you can play in life. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as little as wearing something completely different. Being a leader in being kind instead of reactive in your relationship. Changing the way that you deal with a problem, whether it be a work one or not. Can you deal with a problem with a person or a work situation where you are coming from that higher self that knows they're capable, they're confident, they're right, that knows that there's a better way to deal with things, knows that there is a way that you prefer for this to go, and actually take the step in doing that. That's your 11:11. So your 22s are interesting because your 22s are around two people, you and someone else, you and something else. 22 is about you can do something very effective in helping this person that you are talking to or doing things with to get from where they are in their life to somewhere better. So I was born in 1957, which is a Master Bridge Builder number. And what I found over the years is what I do is that I help a person with their personal problems and their personal situations. I help build a bridge for them to walk over that is through the psychic intuitive, where they're given information that helps them get through easier with answers to why things are happening and what they're going through. And the bridge takes them to a higher part of themselves where they can operate from in a different way that is non-combative and non-conflicting and non-aggressive, to a more spiritual viewpoint, a higher viewpoint. And 33 is another one, so that, like all the way up to 99, like I said. So 33, so what's 3? 3 is around share your knowledge, share what you know. It is around find out how your creativity works for you. It's not just in writing and painting. It can be in acting. It can be in music. It can be in going into someone's house and saying, "Hey, have you thought about moving this here and that there?" Because you would have an instinct around even the feng shui aspect of things, that where it could actually look better but provide a better energy for people. So communication. 3 means there's something you need to say. There's something you need to be honest about. Not just say you're fine, but actually say, well, actually I'm not fine, but I'm okay. I'll deal with it. So it's about being more honest, the 33s, okay? And if you ever want to look up any number you see repeatedly, I do invite you to look up the numerology. It's called numerology. Online, Google numerology. Look at the number that you keep getting, and it will tell you what you need to be aware of, what you need to be involved with, what you need to know. It can answer some questions that you've had for quite a long time as well. So, invitation is just to look at that and understand this year. It is very difficult not to be combative, even be hard on yourself. So what I would say is it's to do with all the energy around you. Be as calm as possible. Do things that are calming. Ground yourself. Take a breather before you answer someone, before you react. Get it out of your system. Jump in the car. Go for a drive. Honestly, the motorway, music turned up loud, rant, rave, growl. Say everything. Get it out of your system before you go and be with that person close to you or your family. Okay? Don't carry it. Get it out, but don't aim it at other people. That's very destructive. You know that. You know that when people have been angry at you, that it hurts. Okay, so this is Radio Hawke's Bay, and I am Gail, and this has been Life Coaching with Gail, Psychic, Intuitive, Spiritual, Personal. And on that note, lovely people, I will see you at the beginning of September. Take care. Namaste.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.